Hello. In this video, we are going to discuss about disseminated intravascular coagulation or otherwise defibrillation syndrome or conception coagulopathy. And here we are going to discuss about the etiological factors, the pathogenesis, pathophysiology of DIC and DIC in relating to forensic aspects and how to handle a case of DIC and what are the viscera to be preserved when a case with an features of DIC. And before going to the actual entire description of this video, first and foremost, we will see about what is the definition of DIC. And in DIC is a complex thrombohemorrhagic disorder. In return, it is an intravascular coagulation and an hemorrhage as occurring as a result of some complications either due to a systemic illnesses or otherwise due to a traumatic diseases. Between DIC and forensic aspect. First and foremost, it is one of the causes for delayed causes of death from a wound. And in this video, we are going to discuss about DIC. And coming to etiological factors, either it could be due to a massive tissue injury or a massive trauma followed by the complications after a trauma. DIC sets in. Here, first and foremost, massive tissue injury, either it can occur due to a trauma or otherwise some obstetrical syndromes or conditions can cause DIC. And here, most commonly, as an event of amniotic fluid embolism or a retained fetal products or otherwise an abruptio placenta can cause relating to obstetrical syndromes. And in case of massive trauma, where a metastatic malignancy and in case of prolonged surgeries can result in DIC. And when you talk about infections, gram-negative meningococcus septicemias, viral infections, malaria can also be one of the causes for DIC. And widespread endothelial damage, either an aortic aneurysm or hemolytic uremic syndrome, or in case of severe burns where DIC can occur. And in miscellaneous causes, a snake bite or as a result of a shock or as a result of acute intravascular hemolysis, and in case of heat stroke where a DIC will be the associated clinical finding where a patient may present with DIC. In pathogenesis, there are 4 stages where first and foremost is activation of coagulation, second thrombotic phase, third is consumption phase, and fourth is secondary fibrinolysis. And here, when and where there has been an injury or there has been an endothelial damage relating to any of the etiological conditions where the thrombogenic stimuli causes generalized platelet aggregation and whereby they additions with the resultant deposits of a small thrombi, and they from there they act as an emboli through the microvasculature, and whereby microvasculatures are being obstructed. And in case of a thrombotic phase, in early phases, the consumption coagulation factors and the platelets have been responsible. And as a result of protective mechanism, where fibrinolytic system is being secondarily activated at the site of the coagulation area or the coagulation pathway, where secondary fibrinolysis causes breakdown of fibrin, resulting in formation of large fibrogen degraded products in circulation. So first and foremost, endothelial damage, followed by there being an activation of coagulation pathway where platelets form aggregates and they been released in circulation as microthrombi, and during consumption phase where there been a secondary fibrolysis been associated with, where fibrin products have been break down into fibrogen degraded products and whereby there have been a decrease in coagulation factors and decrease in levels of platelets, and there have been increase in FTP particles. Endothelial damage, activation of coagulation, platelet aggregates formation, and microthrombi in circulation during phase of thrombotic phase, and in phase of conception were associated with secondary fibrinolysis, where the fibrin have been break down into multiple FTP products, and they have been released in circulation. And due to this, there will be a decrease in platelet, and there will be decrease in coagulation factors. And herein again, the individual will be, for example, if it been a case of a tissue injury, and in tissue injury, it could be of any obstetrical complications, or as a result of a malignant neoplasm, or a massive trauma, or due to burns or prolonged surgery, causes tissue thromboplastin, and due to the extrinsic coagulation pathway, where intravascular coagulation system is being activated, and the consumption of clotting factors and platelet occurs. So, and ultimately it results to a picture of bleeding, presentation as bleeding, and in sepsis, and especially due to gram-negative and other viral pathogens or other infections, again they follow the same pathway, and they ultimately cause in bleeding. And if in case if an intravascular coagulation system is activated, where plasmin activation causes increase in FTP products, and they again results in bleeding. And in case of an endothelial injury to the blood vessel, either it can occur due to an aortic aneurysm or hemolytic uremic syndrome, or severe burns or acute glomerulonephritis. Again, platelet aggregation, activation of intrinsic coagulation pathway, and where these thrombi have been released when, and they act as an emboli, and they occlude the microvasculature, and when there been a occlusion of the blood structures, where the concerned part which receives the blood suffers from ischemic tissue injury, where the concerned part decrease in blood supply, so the functional capability of the tissue is being compromised, and due to microvascular occlusion, where microangiopathic hemolytic anemia sets in. And this is how the pathophysiology and pathogenesis due to DIC and due to its etiological conditions. Clinical presentation, where bleeding, it could be of an intravascular bleeding within the body cavity, where there will be sudden hypotension, bradycardia may occur, and organal damages can also occur due to effects of ischemia. The findings where platelet count will be lower, and in blood film where microangiopathic hemolytic anemia and associated with the presence of schistocytes and fragmented red cells will be demonstrated, and there will be associated prolongation of PT time, thrombin time, and activated partial thromboplastin times. And point number 4, there will be reduction in plasma fibrogen levels, and there will be increased level of fibrin degraded products in the vascular. And this will be the laboratory findings relating to DIC. At autopsy, where lungs, liver, kidney, adrenals should be examined for fibrin deposition, and unusual amount and the distribution of bleeding within the body cavities can be demonstrated, and the signs of ischemia or signs of infarction in many organs can be seen on microscopical finding. And here most commonly affected organs are lungs, liver, kidney, and adrenals, and on autopsy, where viscera or the samples from these organs to be subjected for histopathological examination. And a case where there will be an individual being admitted, right, an obstetrical history may be presented, or otherwise there will be an history of trauma and other, and how to prove in autopsy or within a autopsy finding, and where the findings will be minimal, and morphological autopsy can lead to a negative autopsy until otherwise if there been a viscera being collected for toxicological as well as histopathological analysis can be handy and the final opinion can be derived. And here toxicological analysis sampling is not optional, right? It is purely depend on the medical officer according to the presentation of the case and according to the circumstance of the case, where samples can be preserved for toxicological analysis, and it is not necessary as a case of DIC, the toxicological analysis is not required. And if in case, if any of the circumstances or there been any foul play in the history or there been any concealed injury, then a toxicological analysis can be opt for. And here for viscera collection relating to toxicological analysis, where stomach along with its content with 1 foot of intestine to be collected, to be resected and to be preserved in bottle number 1 for toxicological analysis. And in case bottle 2, piece of liver and half of each kidney and piece of a spleen to be collected in bottle number 2. And bottle number 3, 100 ml of blood for toxicological analysis, and bottle number 4 for sample of preservative. And here the preservative used for toxicological analysis is saturated sodium chloride solution. And see to that it has been adequately filled, and samples can be sealed, labeling can be done, and it can be sent for FSL for the further toxicological analysis, right? And again I repeat, toxicological analysis is not mandatory relating to DIC. Only when there been a circumstance or there been a history relating to or there been a, according to the presentation of the deceased, where a toxicological analysis can be opted for. Viscera for histopathological examination, where a whole dissected heart, piece of brain, half of piece of lungs, piece of liver, piece of spleen, half of each kidney, and a whole dissected uterus in case of a female can be collected and preserved for histopathological examination. And sometimes according to the other circumstances or according to the demand of the case, where part of an esophagus, a part of a stomach, intestine, prostate, pancreas, suprarenal glands, testes, pituitary gland can be collected for histopathological examination. And here in case the preservative, ideal preservative we use for histopathological examination is 10% formalin. And remember, blood also to be collected for in a EDTable for complete blood picture and peripheral smear for malarial parasite. And here according to the etiological agent, based on the history provided, the samples and the dose can be varied from one to other cases. Swabs, blood samples for microbiological examination, and here the samples to be collected as per the guideline framed by the concerned department, and remember cold chain to be maintained, then we can able to identify the possible infection etiology. And here in case where gram negative and bacteria and viral infections and malaria, and those can be obtained from collecting a swab or blood samples that have been collected for culture of microorganism. Thank you so much for your patient listening. If there have been any doubt, query relating to this topic discussed, kindly address those issues in comment section below, or otherwise text through any of the social media links provided in description section. Thank you so much.